All right, to watch this video for Monday, November 19th. Keep in mind it's a holiday week. If you weren't in chat on Friday, then you don't know that I cut out early. I said I actually left a couple hours early. I try not to do that anymore, but it was such a choppy session, and I went red to green on the day, and I thought, you know what, this is a good time to quit. But so I don't usually start my videos with a chart of Apple, but I am because I told everybody in chat with a couple hours up, said, hey guys, I'm going to call it a week. I'm going to go get drunk and ride some roller coasters with my wife. And what ended up happening was I ended up contributing to Apple's profits on Friday. And I'll explain. This is the Mako at SeaWorld. And I'd ridden it with my daughter before, so I just kept telling my wife, you've got to ride this. This is just a great roller coaster. In my opinion, by the way, better than the Hulk at Universal or Rip Ride Rocket. It's better than both of those. It is, which is weird because it's at SeaWorld. You wouldn't expect that, but great roller coaster. So anyway, long story short, we're in line, and we each had a cell phone, which we should have left in the car. And I told her that, I got this, because she handed me my cell phone. She didn't have any pockets or anything. And I said, I've got this. Don't worry about it. And she kept saying, I'm afraid it's going to fall out. I said, come on. I got this. Anyway, so I put each of our cell phones in my pockets. And thank God, when the ride was over, I still had hers. Or this would be an entirely different video. I would be making this video from Wayne's couch in New Jersey. But my cell phone is in this tree right here, or over by this pole, or maybe over here. But thank God it wasn't hers. She had her like little pouch with a driver's license in it and a couple other things. So I'm so glad it was mine. Anyway, my cell phone, I lost it. So ended up at the Apple store and got a new cell phone. All because of the Mako. And maybe a little bit because I don't listen to my wife. All right, so let's go to the SPY. So I drew some lines on the SPY because basically going by this day right here was 1 month ago, to 1 month to the day. So I put a line at the highs from the last month and the lows from the last month. And this is where the SPY closed. So it's a very choppy market, but you could argue technically we're slightly in the upper half of the last month's range. We are coming into the holidays next week. The market's closed Thursday. I think it closes at 1 on Friday. Wednesday's going to be dead because it's a big travel day. So I really suspect it's going to be low volume and choppy all week. Having said that, I have seen Thanksgiving weeks get stupid sometimes, and a theme will pick up. The baby oils or crypto plays at one time or whatever. There might be a theme emerge. It might be pot stocks, who knows, and it might be nothing. But sometimes, maybe because a lot of retail traders are off, things can get, moves in the low floaters can get exaggerated. So, I'm certainly going to be there all week and see if we can, uncover a theme. But I always just want you to be cautious because it could be fairly thin out there. All right, so also, if you don't know, I'm trying to use these videos to just kind of go over the watch list and maybe show a couple things. But as far as details, if you ever weren't in chat one day and you want to see details, I'm trying to put videos on our results page now instead of just that table. So there's only a couple of videos up there because I just started this. But check out the results page if you want to see some details of some of the calls. But I will share it like this with you before I go into the watch list. Jane, if you weren't there, posted NBEV ORB, which means opening range breakout idea, and NBEV. And I'll highlight this in the video that I make about Friday, but I haven't done it yet. NBEV looked like, well, I'll go to 2-minute candles. So it looked like this. I'll zoom in a little bit. When Jane posted, so this is the opening candle of the day. There's the low, and it started to come back up. And it was super strong on Thursday, so Jane's idea was just buying it above the opening range, which turned out to be 384. And look at that. It just literally didn't look back and went all the way to 450. And again, I'll cover this in that video, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Jane because it was such a good call. And then also, if you weren't there, this is the one that bailed me out for the day, was DGAZ. And I never trade this thing. It's not a stock. It's a triple inverse ETF on natural gas. I'm pretty sure is how you sum that up. But Matt put this on my radar. and I also called this Thursday, and it made a really nice move. Anyway, so I actually traded this one, and this one I had basically a flat day going, and this one kind of gave me a decent day anyway. And then I also got this private message from somebody else that's been playing DGAZ with me, so proud of that. Let's go into the watch list though. And again, don't forget, I don't know if Apple stock is going to jump because of one iPhone sale. And it ended up working out for the better, by the way. You know, you guys know I have a granddaughter, and my camera on my iPhone has been shot for probably 6 months. But I'm just too cheap to go buy another one, and now I'm sort of forced to. So it's got a great camera. So anyway, I'm happy with it, but still kind of sucked. So let's go to the watches, and it's not a very big one because there's not a lot of standouts. And SONO gapped up on Friday on earnings, I guess, and then it actually opened at around 17, went up to 17.77, and then kind of fell apart. But the earnings looked pretty good from what I saw. So this could be sometimes sellers get a hold of a gap play, an earnings gap play on the day, and then the very next day it rebounds. So I can't say I'm in love with the chart, but absolutely worth watching, I think, all week. All right, RGSE. I called this one over 51 cents on Friday, if you weren't in chat, and it went to 56.5 cents or whatever. But it's a slow mover. It's more like, to me, maybe a swing trader stock, which you guys don't, I don't do. So, but it did top out here at 56.5 cents. Back here on volume, it hit 57.5. I really loved the setup coming into today, and it didn't rip like I thought. Let's see, I can just, for the optics of it, right there. I mean, it's pretty clean breakout over that area, but I would also note that it's kind of been climbing steadily and slowly for a week to get there. So I don't know. I don't love it, but I threw it on watch. CASI, a little bit of extra volume in this one on Friday, but it's worth noting that this volume spike here, still only 765,000, and the day before that, it only traded 159,000. So it's a thin stock, but it's trying to break out of this range here. And I'm going to have it on watch. JWN, oversold. I think they had earnings, and from what I remember, the earnings didn't sound that bad. Geez, I was talking. I should have had a bid below 50. I want to see what this looked like when it broke 50. Oh, it did it right on that opening 5-minute candle. In after hours, when they reported, I actually threw a bid out below 50. Which you can't see after hours on this chart, but I loved it below 50, and in after hours it never hit it, and after hours Thursday, that is. Anyway, it's really fallen straight down to some support, and if you look at Macy's, which is, you could kind of call Nordstrom's sister stock, Macy's kind of got slammed after earnings, and then yesterday a really nice bounce. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in Nordstrom's, and will it do what Macy's did and have a couple down days first, or will it bounce on Friday or on Monday? We don't know, but it's really oversold. I mean, this thing was almost $68 a few sessions ago. To me, that's a pretty good setup for a bounce play. LCI, very nice little cup and handle on this island down here, right? You have this cup and this handle. Looks really good over these recent highs, which I'll give you some numbers. 618 about a week ago. 615 on Friday. Looks really good over that range. It could squeeze up into that gap. COTY. I think this had news in after hours. The CEO bought a chunk of the stock. And it's pretty beaten up anyway. And after the gap down, it looked like it was rolling over on this day and then right back up. So this one might find its way up into this gap soon. I'm going to watch that one. CVIA had this gap down, but then this kind of big engulfing candle on, let's see, that would have been Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday. So it's kind of flagging now. And there it is. You kind of picture the flag pattern there. So I like this one for a potential long. And lastly, Kodak, believe it or not, KODK, which has had a nice run and is really kind of flagging. The 200 days right there, so be aware of that. But nice volume when this run started and a nice flag. So I'm not in love with this list. And again, remember my cautions for this holiday week. So if you're trading, trade a little smaller, maybe take profits a little more quickly, but hopefully a theme will emerge and we'll have some crazy moves this week, which has happened on Thanksgiving week. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see everybody on Monday.